everyone. Feels great to have you back. So then, did you all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City? Called Kujira, or the Whale. Apparently the Corp figured it wasn't safe in Japanese waters. Afraid some local fishermen might harpoon it for scientific research. But honestly, it's quite the power move. Wonder what Militech will respond with. Maybe Myers will fly a Rust Bucket B-17 Flying Fortress over Arasaka HQ. Oh, man, that is insensitive. I am so sorry. Where are my manners? President Myers. I mean, of course. Gotta respect the office. Anywho.
Hello, welcomes back everyone, and Wolf here with the third part here of our series of Cyberpunk 2077. The radio is quite lively this evening, but we've come to the end of the prologue. We completed our gig over in Westbrook, I believe it was, and we are ready to call it a night and see what a new day brings us.
Oh, V! You get any sleep? No matter. Time you got up.
Think I might have caught something when I jacked into that Corpo's biomon. Dunno, neurovirus or... Need to see Vic. Let him tell me what's got my head reeling, my stomach churning.
Okay, let me take you. I brought you a ride. Throw on some threads, meet me downstairs.
Okay, Jackie is already bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and waiting to meet us outside of our mega building. But we did just receive a message here from the body count lottery. Congratulations! You picked the correct number in today's body count lottery. You are the lucky winner of a Quadrasport R7 Vigilante. Don't drive it all in one place. Sure. Your new Quadrasport R7 Vigilante has been shipped to your address. Please play again. Now, I believe this vehicle is a pre-order reward for the Phantom Liberty DLC. I could be mistaken. But, happy days? We have no other messages currently, no unread mail. And these are our current list of contacts that will expand. We do have a contact in the form of Padre, of course, of Haywood, Wakako Okada, the fixer of Westbrook, Jackie Wells, and our fellow crew member T-Bug as well. But we are here in our mega building. And yeah, seems like when we jacked into Sandra Dorsett's bio monitor, we may have got spiked with a virus ourselves. There are various radio stations playing different genres of music. We have, of course, our bathroom here, our shower, our toilet. We do have a mirror where we can, I believe, adjust some of our appearance options if we so wished. Some of the appearance options have to be adjusted at a Ripper dock, like Vic, who we're going to go see in the near future. As we go through the various acts and complete various missions, you may notice that our apartment may become filled with various odds and ends. We can also change or customize the appearance of our apartment. Depending on if we're willing to spend the eddies to do so. But let's see our messages here. We have some spam. Various medicines here. Including a 1-year Trauma Team premium package. As we saw with Trauma Team, they are, I suppose, a corporation, a company where you can buy health insurance. Depending on the package that you have, if you become injured out on the street of Night City, in their capture area anyway, they may even send either a land-based or AV to your location to stabilize your condition and take you back to their medical facilities. I imagine the cost of a Trauma Team membership card is extremely expensive, especially the higher tier packages. Penis nanogel. Seemingly our computer has been attacked by various viruses, various demons trying to claim our personal data. One trying to corrupt our neural processor. Aha. Is this spam or is this real? Probably a combination of both. And we do have a message from El Capitan, the fixer of Santo Domingo. It used to be that, depending on your reputation, your street cred, every fixer would start offering you different vehicles that you could then travel to and purchase. Now, El Capitan has taken on that role, where you can check a net page, and if you have the, again, reputation, the eddies to afford the vehicle, and sometimes there are other certain requirements, you can purchase vehicles from different brands. And this is El Capitan telling you to check out his net page. Now, the World Wide Web as we know it is no more, or it exists, but it's no longer navigated by the vast majority of the entire population of the world. I don't know if I can entirely blame it on one netrunner, but an extremely proficient and skilled netrunner known as Raish Bartmos unleashed what was known as the Rabbids, a highly advanced series of viruses, AI, malware, into the net, and it basically fractured. And a lot of people who were connected to the net at the time basically got killed or fried by these AIs. Nowadays, the net, as most people know it, is a lot smaller. There are various networks, smaller networks for different corporations, different cities, and they are all kind of protected or overseen by either netrunners hired by that corporation or by a company known as Netwatch, who provides services to protect the various networks of the net. So, we know, of course, this is the Night City network. We will see different networks over our time exploring Night City, and they may have different net pages available to them. So, of course, we have Growl FM and Darkstar, those two are radio stations. We have an entry for the mayor's office here, and the current mayor is Lucius Rhine, who we mentioned earlier, and who is running again for mayor of Night City in the up-and-coming elections next year. At least I think it's next year. Of course, it tells us about his greatest achievements, which include passing resolutions on neurocognitive implants, as well as defending Night City during the Metal Wars, during the Unification Wars. It was thanks to his judgment and strength of character that Arasaka Corporation was able to return to Night City after more than 4 decades of absence. After which Militech and the NUSA were forced to retreat from the Coronado Bay of North California, and the metropolis maintained its independence, at least autonomous government. Of course, we have various news articles from the mayor's office, and it seems, yeah, the mayor is actually speaking with the current CEO of Militech, a Lucas Hartford. Now, one thing we should mention, the connection between Militech and the NUSA. The Militech megacorporation provides armaments, equipment, personnel to the NUSA to back their reunification effort, and the former, or at least one of the former CEOs of Militech is now the current president of the NUSA, this Rosalind Myers. Of course, we do have an entry on Trauma Team here. And we were just talking about how Trauma Team operate. We do have a couple of news networks. We have WNS News here. Seemingly, yeah, asbestos was found in a faulty batch of Militech limbs. Let's see, anything else? A highway extension that was going to connect Night City to Los Angeles has been rejected. There's actually an interesting entry here, that there was a mysterious shootout in Japantown. According to sources, the NCPD found the bodies of Lazarus agents on the scene. A lone survivor claims that the attacker was a portly man with a black cyber arm. Whether or not it was the man, the myth, the legend, the Morgan Blackhand, a famous solo mercenary, we don't actually know. Lazarus, I believe, are like a worldwide mercenary organization. I don't know a great deal about them. We have N54 news, of course. We've heard about there is a lockdown here in the Watson district. We don't know why that is at the moment, but we do have a notice about a shootout happening here in the Watson district. A firefight erupted between gang members of Maelstrom and the Tiger Claws that resulted in 7 civilian casualties. Indeed, Maelstrom and the Mox are 2 of the major gangs here in the Watson district, but the Tiger Claws are encroaching on certain territories, certain sub-districts here, and it's causing a bit of fighting between the gangs, of course. Okay, so we're getting warned about acid rain. Of course, we have an entry on Night Corporation. Night Corporation grew out of the Richard Knight Foundation. They finance research and donate to orphanages, trying to improve the living standards of all Night citizens. Doesn't give us much, does it? Also, we have Auto Fixer here. We have an introduction to El Capitan and the various brands that we can purchase from. Some of these vehicles are actually weaponized with mounted machine guns or even missile launchers as well. Of course, at the moment we don't have a great deal of eddies, so those are going to be able to afford any of these. Normally when there's a little dot here, it indicates there is a vehicle from that brand available to purchase, that we are qualified to purchase, even if we don't reach the Euro-dollar requirement. So we just saw one of these B340 freight vans yesterday evening. The scavs were driving one trying to kill us. And we do have access to the Militech Hellhound as well. 150,000 eddies is a great deal of money though, so yeah, we're not going to be able to afford that for a while. Very well. We have kind of a wardrobe here. This game, again, allows you to wear equipment which will provide various benefits to your character, such as reload speed, a little bit of extra armor. But you can also wear casual gear in a sort of glamoring system, like some MMORGs. Also, we have our weapon stash. We've already explored this. So, we're going to very briefly go through some windows here. I apologize in advance. Oh, where to start? We'll look at cyberware later. Let's look at our character sheet. We've already talked about how the core attributes work, but let's talk about perks. So we'll use cool, because cool is going to be our dump stat. As we talked about, certain perks require you to have a threshold in the core attribute to unlock them. For example, if we want to start working on throwing weapons or pistols, we need to have at least 9 cool to unlock the pro tier of perks. And for example, if we want to reach ninjutsu here, not only will we need 15 cool, but we'll need to have unlocked feline footwork as well. In fact, I'm going to grab this immediately. When crouched, 15% movement speed and increased mitigation chance. Mitigation allows you to reduce incoming damage depending on your mitigation strength. This is good in combination with blind spot. The higher your mitigation chance, the longer it takes for enemies to detect you, which means that alert indicator is going to be filling up slower depending on your mitigation chance. These 2 perks are probably the only 2 perks we're going to take from the cool perk tree. If I was going full stealth, we'd probably start investing more into cool so we could grab ninjutsu. Later on, that would unlock the ability to crouch sprint, consuming stamina, but while crouched, you make a hell of a lot less noise. It's really damn good. Now, as for our attribute point, as I say, early on here in Act 1, there are some dialogue options I would like to unlock. For now, I'll put a point in the body. I think we need 6 body for an event happening in the near future. Otherwise, reflexes and technical ability are probably what we're going to be boosting next. Body is extremely good for if you're working with light machine guns, shotguns, blunt weapons, and the middle tree is more for health regeneration and survivability. Reflexes comes down to your assault rifles, submachine guns, your movement abilities such as your dash abilities, and your bladed weapons, including the Mantis Blade cyber arms. Technical ability is your consumables, your health consumables, and your grenades, and how fast they recharge, as well as later on helping you with explosives and your projectile launch system, which is another type of cyber arm. And the middle tree allows you to boost the cyberware you currently have equipped, and also allowing you to loot more crafting components. This is something we want to grab early on, because crafting components are always going to be useful. We can always refund this perk later, but the earlier or the sooner we get this, the better. And the final tree here is for boosting your proficiency with tech weapons, which is a weapon type in this game. You have tech weapons, smart weapons, and power weapons. There you go. I forgot the last one. Cool, we've already talked about. And intelligence. Intelligence mostly focuses on your net running proficiency, making your quick hacks more deadly, allowing you to regenerate your RAM more quickly, allowing you to consume health instead of RAM as well. And the final perk tree is similar to tech weapons, but for smart weapons, making the target reticle larger, allowing you to lock on the enemies more quickly. Smart weapons are actually pretty fun. We may show them off in the future, but not at the moment. And yeah, that's about it, really. In addition, we have other ways to progress our skills and unlock various passive buffs. As we perform actions which are connected to our core attributes, we will earn experience. So if we use shotguns or blunt weapons, we will earn solo experience, and we will increase our carrying capacity, our overall health. We can unlock extra perk points. We can increase the damage and attack speed of our blunt weapons. Shinobi is all about when you use assault rifles, submachine guns, and blades, or using the dash abilities, and we can increase our movement speed or reduce the stamina cost of using some of our skills. Net running, again, quick hacking our enemies, or using smart weapons. Headhunter, when we're moving around undetected, when we're taking enemies down, like we were during the Scav gig, or if we're using pistols and sniper rifles. And of course, Engineer, which is our technical tree, when we're using grenades, tech weapons, of course, or we're using various cyberware, such as the Sandistafan, optical camo, and so on and so forth. We do have an additional kind of skill progression tree, which is part of a mod. The mod is known as Stealth Runner, and this is where we can focus as a player to be more stealthy. And if we complete gigs without being detected, without entering combat, we earn various points. As we earn more points, we earn extra perks. For example, Shadow is similar to Ghost, but it's not just entering combat, it's not even arousing suspicion, where people won't find the bodies of their fellows. Pacifist, complete a gig without killing anyone, complete a gig without even touching anyone. And Hero is where there may be people who could be killed by our opponents if we allow them to die. So we do need to keep that in mind. This is a way to gain extra perk points, and there are unique perks which are very useful. For example, if we are not making use of a cyber deck, if we were using a Sandivistan or Berserk bit of cyberware, we could still disable cameras. Oh, sorry, take control of cameras while standing next to them, which is extremely useful. Now, let's pull up the map here. Let's have a look at the entirety of Night City. We obviously were over in Westbrook earlier for our gig for Wakako, and Megabuilding H10 is located here in the Watson district, and more precisely in the sub-district of Little China. Watson was going to be one of the next big cultural sites of Night City. Unfortunately, when Arasaka returned to Night City during the Metal Wars, they basically tanked their competition, and the property prices in this district tanked. A lot of businesses went under, and Arasaka bought the land here at the waterfront very cheaply, which is what they intended all along. They wanted portside access. Of course, we have the city centre, Corpo Plaza. We have Haywood, which is where we first started. Westbrook, which for a long time after the detonation of the bomb in 2023 was pretty much where a lot of refugees lived, especially to the east and North Oak. There was a lot of shanty towns set up here. But the Night City Council decided to demolish the shanty town and regenerate the region for influential and people with the money to afford, like, almost mansions in this high-rise area, which overlooks a lot of Night City. And we'll have a look at this region later on. We have Santo Domingo. I don't know much about Santo Domingo. I think it's where a lot of industry people live. We can learn more about this district when we get in there. Pacifica, which was meant to be like an entertainment complex for Night City, and again, money and plans fell through, and now it's in the hands of a gang known as the Voodoo Boys and the Animals. We'll learn more about them. With Phantom Liberty, we were introduced to a new region known as Dogtown, which is under the gang known as Barguest, which I believe are affiliated with the NUSA or Militech, or both. I don't know much about that gang. We'll learn more about them in the future. And then we have the Badlands, the outskirts of Night City. The Badlands is where some of the nomads roam, and we'll learn more about them in the future as well. So, the last thing we need to talk about, apologies for taking so long, is weapon quality. Well, actually, we'll use our pistol. I'll grab the pistol and I'll grab this blade as an example. There are two types of weapon: standard weapons and iconic weapons. So, we'll look at our weapons here. The Unity pistol is a standard weapon. It is tier 1, which is the lowest tier. I think it goes all the way to tier 5++. The higher the tier of a weapon, the greater the stats, the attributes it actually has. And standard weapons will potentially have modification slots, where you can obviously add modifications to affect how the weapon works. Now, standard weapons can be crafted if you have the crafting specifications, most of which we'll probably find as we explore the game. Iconic weapons work the same way. Iconic weapons go from tier 1 all the way up to tier 5++. Iconic weapons cannot be crafted unless you find their unique crafting spec, and they are a hell of a lot rarer. Iconic weapons are basically the same as a standard weapon, but they themselves have some unique modifier. You won't find an iconic weapon with a modification slot. The iconic part of the weapon is that modification. So, I believe this was a reward for pre-ordering Cyberpunk 2077, the Black Unicorn here. And apart from offering the standard plus 25% armor penetration, its attack speed is not affected by V's stamina, which could be extremely good. As I say, there are various iconic weapons dotted around Night City, some of which we'll probably miss, because some of which you have to choose various dialogue options or choose to side with various factions to retrieve that item further in the future. You may not even realize you've missed that opportunity. Iconic weapons are also weapons that end up here on the display walls. So that's something to keep in mind as well. As for what we need, I mean, for the other weapons and the clothing, you can break them down into item components, or you can sell them to vendors or various service points. The general rule is to sell weapons because they sell for more eddies than clothing, and break down clothing. The downside, of course, in crafting, sorry, inventory. If you want to say break down this knife, if we break it down, we'll break it down into 2 item components. Let's go to our inventory. Our backpack. There you go. Yeah, so you can see our normal item components or quick hack components. If we want to break down this knife, sorry, we'll get 5 of the appropriate tier components. Whereas if you break down clothing, you only get 1 of the appropriate clothing. Component. And I think that might be everything. Sorry it takes so long, but it's worth getting all these things out the way and having you informed. Of course, we do need to go see Wakako to receive our reward for rescuing Sandra Dorset. And we did get a message from T-Bug on our way up to our Megabuilding apartment that, yeah, she's the last person to actually give us a gift, but it seems she has arranged for us to pick up a Netrunner program at a certain store in Kabuki. Sorry, just taking a mouthful of my coffee here. One thing we can talk about as well, how the journal entries are written. They're actually written at this point in time by Jackie Wells, our fellow mercenary here. Now, let's see, we did pick up another data shard. The day the tower fell. And this talks about what happened, I think it was August 10th? August 10th, 2023? When, yeah, a nuclear bomb was detonated in the basement of Arasaka Tower. Now, there are various conflicting reports about who was responsible for actually planting the bomb. We'll hear a couple of versions ourselves. We don't know which one is true. Now, is there any other entries that we should learn about? We should learn probably about corporations in general. In the latter half of the 21st century, corporations are international financial behemoths known as megacorporations. They have their own political aims, even raging more or less open conflicts against their competition. It is no exaggeration to say that corporations are what shapes the reality and the life of an ordinary person. Just take a look around. Every object in your home, if you have one, came off some production line in a factory belonging to one of the megacorp. Another one will deliver electricity to your home so that you can watch TV news on a media conglomerate's channel, which in turn has corporations as a majority of its shareholders. Everything you drink, even to a certain extent the air you breathe, it all comes from global concerns. And even if you're blissfully unaware of this, the corporations still influence every aspect of a night citizen's life. And see, we have an entry on the NUSA, of course. So, is it worth grabbing a lot of the weapons from our storage? I'm not going to be making use of them. We have our pistol. I might take the black unicorn. As for everything else, I might keep... We do have a tier 1 shotgun in the form of the Carnage. I might take that as well.
Hey, V. Regina Jones here. If you're looking for work in Watson, give me a call.
How'd you find me? How'd you even know my name?
I know where to gather my intel. Could even call me a collector. Later, V.
You know how we talked about how fixers would introduce themselves as we entered their district? The fixer of Watson is Regina Jones here. And as I say, she was just introducing herself, telling us that she knows of our presence in her territory. And if we look at the map again, is she offering us any gigs? Not at the moment, but I think it's because we are mainly focused on Act 1. But as we proceed or progress through Act 1, we can always check back at the map and see if any gigs are being offered. Regina is actually located here over in Kabuki, and it does indicate that overall she does have 23 gigs to offer us. I believe she has the most gigs to offer any player, as opposed to any of the other fixers around Night City. If you do complete all of the gigs of a particular fixer, you tend to gain a unique reward as well. Regina's reward has changed over the years. I don't even know what it is nowadays. I guess we'll hopefully find out.
So, what? You embarrassed?
No, that ain't it.
What is it then?
Just later, all right? I got a clusterfuck on my hands right now.
So you are embarrassed?
Fucking gong piece of shit.
Oh, we can actually, I forgot, with our database, we have an entry on our Megabuilding. And we can imply this affects every Megabuilding here in Night City. Besides the 2,000 apartments identical to these, the Watson Megablock also features luxury penthouses on its upper floors. Further down you can find various service points, stores, market stalls, a gym, even a shooting range. To a certain extent, Megabuildings are truly self-sufficient, self-contained ecosystems. Many of their long-term residents, especially netrunners, haven't stepped outside of the Megabuilding in years. Indeed, why would you need to if everything you need is here in this building? Also, it's probably a lot safer.
NCPD! Open up!
We got a call! We're here to help!
We know you're in there!
Well, that's none of my business.
Soak in that sun while you can. There's a cold front moving in. Prepare for cooler conditions as we head into the weekend.
Piece of shit! Come on!
Oh, no. 14 is no good. It's just not enough.
Know what the worst thing
Wait,
is
you
about
mean
this
14
place?
a day? Well, that's different.
No,
Better.
the fucking smell.
Need to discuss it with my partner in crime.
It is not.
Yes,
Joe
I call you.
could boil shit
good day to
in
you.
this, and it still smells better than this fucking dump.
Watch yourself.
Hey, yo, V. How about a round or two? What do you say? How you like my new punching bag? Just gave me a next-gen ass whooping, he did. Be curious to see how he handles the likes of V. So how about it?
Where'd you get him, Fred?
Off the street. Saw him looking up at me with these big, sad eyes. So I took the poor pup in, fed him, clothed him. Nah, for real. He's a military bot. Got a sweet deal, and a tumor mine tossed in a few upgrades. Now, here we are.
Let's do this.
Light on your feet. Keep that head moving. one hell of a punch there, champ. Ever thought of monetizing it? I can arrange a fight or two. What do you say?
You go in the ring yourself?
Not anymore. Skull's taking too much of a beating. Reflexes ain't what they used to be.
There's ways of fixing that. Korenzakov should do the trick.
Rather dish out my eddies for something else. It's time I started taking it easy.
You mentioned something about fighting.
I've seen you landing blows in the ring. You've got sharp instinct, good edge. You can go far, especially if you get chipped. These fights, let's just say they aren't lethal, but very lucrative.
Yeah, lucrative for who? You or me?
Both of us. I get a small percentage of the total winnings, you know, as your agent. You get the rest.
Sounds fair.
It's like I said, good instinct. Fights happen in different parts of the city. You choose where you want to go, put down your eddies, and start swinging. You win, you take home the pot. Manage to drop every last one of them, you get a chance to fight in the grand finale. That all clear?
Crystal.
Good. Oh, except you won't be setting foot outside Watson. Not yet. You can start in Kabuki. I believe in you, V. Time to show this city what you're made of.
So we have Coach Fred there, who immediately as we turn to leave sends us a message about the up-and-coming illegal street fighting, and that he would like to offer us as a coach. Of course, as we mentioned, we are currently imposed in a lockdown here in Watson, but there is one in the sub-district of Kabuki that Fred is not wanting to spoil for us. But when we can get to Arroyo, the Glen, or the Animals Club, we have Buck, Caesar, and Rhino. Rhino actually has a bit of interesting history. I imagine the others do as well. But Rhino, I think, has an entry on the Cyberpunk 2077 website as, like, you can learn a bit about her history. And it actually implies, it's not outright stated, that she has some connection to some major players here in Act 1, which we can talk about in the near future while we're wandering around. There is a data shot here. The big 5 employers of Night City here in 2077. And of course, yeah, they've listed their rankings. Arasaka, of course, coming in at number 1 once again. Employees can expect to be fit with the latest in cyberware technology, with a loyalty obligation of only 20 years. Militech, of course, the American arms giant, offering a 50% discount on all Militech brand weapons. Biotechnica, who offer up to 6 paid vacation days a year. How bad are the rest? We have Kang Tao, of course, which is China's largest tech and arms manufacturer, who offer all of their employees a gold tier membership with Trauma Team. Of course, it is a 50-year loyalty pledge. And then last but not least, we have Night Corp itself, who are the hometown corporation. They only offer a mandatory work week of 80 hours. There a bit of sponsorship for the mayoral campaign, of course.
Pete, your sweet little 45's waiting for its daddy. Purrs after every shot now.
How come?
The Second Amendment is a weapons store and a shooting range here in V's Megabuilding.
Let's have a look.
Robert Wilson here, the proprietor of the Second Amendment, has a bit of a reputation. He doesn't sell many weapons simply out of the case. He is well known for tinkering with the base specifications of a weapon, and therefore he charges a little bit of a higher price and doesn't sell as many pieces as he probably should. It's implied that business is not doing too well for Robert, unfortunately. But he was working on a Lexington pistol for us, the Dying Knight, which is an iconic power pistol, of course. Increases damage while moving and can guarantee shock damage with rapid hits. And it doesn't cost us anything, because I believe this is our pistol he was working on. And we may as well sell the rest of the weapons we aren't going to be using. Yeah, we'll sell these as well. We do have some junk which we could... I can't remember if we can disassemble these. Yeah, we'll just sell them. Is he offering anything of interest? He's offering various ranged weapon mods and attachments, including ammunition for the different weapon types. Coach Fred is actually a melee weapon vendor who will offer melee weapon modifications.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, it's time for your local news. The Aratama Matsuri Festival is nearly upon us. To mark the event, the streets of Night City will come alive with exquisite multi-story dashi floats. The festival program will also include musical performances by biwa virtuosos and theatrical performances in the No tradition. The sponsor for the festival is the Arasaka Corporation, and in an exciting development, even Hanako Arasaka has announced her participation in the Dashi Parade. From all of us at WNS News, we wish you a safe and fun Matsuri. Enjoy yourselves, Night City. After the break, cyber psychosis, myth or reality? Stay tuned.
Okay, so some sort of festival is coming up in the near future, being sponsored by the Arasaka Mega Corporation. Let's talk about Arasaka very quickly, because we're going to learn a lot more about them in the near future. They are probably the biggest mega corporation who have the most influence here in Night City. Yep, the longest operating mega corporation in the world, dating back from the mid-20th century, when a young Saburo Arasaka inherited his father's nascent company, and transforming it into a global leader in security. Today it is known as an arms manufacturing giant that has had its hand in military conflicts across every continent. Due to the latest advances in technology and the company's seemingly unlimited capital, Arasaka is poised to achieve its political goals on a massive scale. Arasaka's soldiers and agents are not only known for their excellent training, but also for their steadfast loyalty to their corporate values and to the CEO of the mega corporation, Saburo Arasaka himself, who, despite his advancing age, continues to govern the corporation with an iron fist. I may be mistaken, but I think Saburo Arasaka might be 158 years old. We know of a few of his children, and as it mentioned, Hanako Arasaka, one of his daughters, is coming to Night City to participate in this up-and-coming festival.
So, we gonna talk about yesterday?
It's all in the report.
Oh, I read it. Except there's no mention of me telling you to Delta the fuck out of there. Yeah, no biggie. Not like that cyber psycho was a tank on 2 chrome legs. What the fuck were you thinking? There's a reason Max Tac exists, you know.
Civilians were in danger. What was I supposed to do? Just watch them get mowed down?
Listen, you, me, and every fucking cop in this city might as well be a civilian next to Max Tac. The day they give us the gear they're packing, go right ahead. Be the hero. Save the fucking day. But until then, you keep your head down and listen to me. That understood?
So we have this member of the NCPD chewing out his partner. Oh, I thought she was having a very bad day, but she's floating. Never mind. But here's the access point to our mega building here. We have Jackie in the distance giving us a wave. And let's talk about cyberpsychosis, since it was mentioned there both on the news report and of course the NCPD officer was talking about cyberpsychosis. As we talked about in the introduction part of this series, the ability to augment yourself internally and externally through bioware or cyberware has become commonplace in this transhumanist world. Unfortunately, there are side effects. Your body may simply refuse the implant. Your immune system may not allow you to augment yourself. Your body may be incompatible. In addition, some cyberware actually can impact your body in a very negative way. There is what is known, I suppose, as mental strain or bodily breakdown. And especially with mental strain, people, especially mercenaries or people in mega corporations, feel the need to always have the best augmentations, to do the best that they're capable of in their job. And as such, will constantly buy the latest and best cyberware, and too much of it. The mental strain can cause them to snap, going on a murderous rampage. They basically they suffer psychosis and become a danger to themselves and the people around them. There are people trying to research cures to cyberpsychosis with minimal success so far. Another thing to mention, I suppose, is how we talked about mercenaries and megacorporations. I suppose it could be corporations at large. How this world is quite grim dark. If you were, say, a worker in a production factory and you weren't willing to augment your arms so that your limbs wouldn't get tired moving all these containers and crates, but there was someone who was willing to do so for the same money, you could quite easily lose your job. So again, it's someone, you are always potentially replaceable in this world, and therefore there's also that strain that you could lose your livelihood very easily for someone who is willing to go that extra step.
Man of the hour. Sheesh, took you long enough. Worked up an appetite just waiting. Sit down, let me finish this. Then we can drop in on Senor Viktor.
Didn't figure you was the type for Asian. Would have thought you'd find it too exotic.
What do you mean? What's there not to like? Noodles? Check. Synth sirloin? Check. Get some more Chile action up in here, and you're looking at Mama Wells' signature sopa de fideos.
Mentioned something about a surprise yesterday. Am I remembering right, or just had a brain fart?
Probably both, because you usually forget shit. But it just so happens, I think I might have bagged us a sweet-ass J.O.B.
Go on.
I mean, maybe it's not as big as that, but just that it's fronted by a little-known someone named Dexter Deshawn. Only the top fixer in Night fucking City. Fat-ass black Jesus of the afterlife. 300 pounds of partly gold-plated cool.
Thought Dex bounced out of the ring a few years ago. Messed with the nasty crew in Pacifica. Things got ugly.
Mm-hmm. Gang wars 2 years back. Somehow Dex got caught up in the craziness. There's a lot of bodies lying in the streets by the time the shooting stopped. Yeah, Dex got lucky, though. Managed to slip under the radar till tempers cooled. Took a while, but he's made one hell of a comeback.
Guy's up to his elbows in blood, Jack. You want to shake his hand? Work with him?
It's the biz, V. Everyone's got blood on their hands. You deal with it. You move on.
How'd you manage to pull this? Trade in your spleen or something? As far as I know, we're not the type to get fingered by Dex.
You, me? Oh, but T-Bug, she's the one that hooked us up. Got us talking. Knew it was a done deal the moment he laid eyes on me. 'Cause come on, ain't nobody who can resist this. Am I right?
Sure, Jack. Whatever you say. So what's the gig? We meant to come out in one piece?
Our Lord and Savior wants to tell you everything himself, face to face. Oh, no pressure, but this whole deal, he's riding on you now, I say.
Why do I gotta go? You and T-Bug draw straws without me?
T-Bug and Dex go way back, and my face is yesterday's news. Oh, Dex says he needs to check you, talk to you. Look, V, it's his job, his rules. I can't blame him for taking a personal approach. And it ain't as bad as you think, okay? Trust me.
Guess I got no choice then.
Dex is a real deal when it comes to fixers. Don't get me wrong. Don't got nothing against the Padre or Wakako, but Dex is in a league of his own. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me started on fixers. They catch a client, find the cheapest gong to do the job, then drop their corpse at a landfill.
Shit. Hit the nail on the head, V. Gracias a Dios. Estoy lleno. Brought your wheels. Gave them to my guy yesterday to smooth over the dents after our, dust-up with the scabs.
Thanks, Jack. Much appreciated.
Some top-notch work Miguel did. Rides like it looks. Factory new.
We'll see about that.
So we rolling or what?
Let's feel this factory new ride.
So we have an Archer Heller ECD. Okay. Produced between 2023 and 2038. Notorious for its low quality.
First stop. Ripper Dock and Holmes. Easy on the gas, huh? I just ate. I was supposed to stop by Vic's anyhow. I got a date. Me and Misty.
You don't say.
She's so sweet.
This is a joke.
Really gets me, you know.
Actually, forgot for a moment how to get out into third person. Okay, what are the controls again? Oh, yes.
Bruce finished him off too quick. Better stretch it out.
Yeah, this is it. Come on, V. Find me once Vic's done dusting your circuits. We'll hash out what Dex has cooked up for us.
Damn execution.
Oh! Someone has jumped off a roof,
you are
maybe.
not the masters of your memories, for your eyes do not belong to you, or rather, not only to you.
Checking them out?
Do you truly believe that those who have sold you your mechanical eyes have resisted the temptation?
Hey, V. Dr. Vector will see you now.
I'll sit tight over here. Me and Misty got a little catching up to do.
You look pleased.
'Cause I am. Always. Makes for easier living. But we got a new job lined up from a big hitter at the afterlife.
Oh. Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof.
Cameras are all around us, even within us.
And so we are here in the back alleyways. Always, you must pet Mr. Nibbles, that's the rules.
Malone drops his guard. You can see the fatigue on him. It's really starting to weigh him down. Starting to take over. Hernandez pounces on the chance, coming in with a couple of hooks. Gaining the upper hand pretty darn quickly. Oh, that must have hurt. Wow, Malone's in the corner. He's looking for a way out. Just looking for a breather here. That was the hardest punch of the round, no doubt. Hernandez keeping him cornered with excellent footwork. Those Xanatech calves of his just shining. Malone is on the ropes. Malone is in trouble. And there's the end of the round. Saved by the bell.
Vicky, spry as ever, you old ripper. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, V. It's been a while. To what do I owe the pleasure today?
Last gig. Had to jack into a client's neuro socket. Think I might have gotten spiked.
Experiencing migraines, nausea, hypersensitivity to bright lights?
Whole kit and caboodle.
All right, kid. We'll sort you out in a flash. Besides that, how are things?
Met a new fixer. He gave me a job. Name's Dexter Deshawn.
Known quantity from the afterlife. No denying you're moving up.
But, something you're not telling me, Vic?
Keep your guard up, that's all. I've heard some things about Dex. He's not as chill as he makes himself out to be.
Need some new kit, but tools, not toys, Vic. Time I bumped up my sights and got a grip.
Really? Now? Finally?
Vic, shit's getting real. Got a job from Dex Deshawn, hitting the major leagues. Need tech that can perform.
The Dexter Deshawn? Well, that is something. But let me guess. Hasn't paid you yet.
Quit crying, Vic. I'll bring you the eddies later, with interest. You know I will.
Last time. You hear? Chair, please. Sit down and relax. Kuroshi Optics. Best I've got, and should be about right under the circumstances. Now jack in.
Kuroshi? Whoa. Vic, nothing tops that on the market.
Sounds like it could come in handy then.
I gave you my word I'd pay you back, but this might be too rich for my blood.
We'll work something out. Right now, I'm just out to make sure you get back in one piece. Eddie's in hand. You peruse and choose while I scan. Let's see what's going on inside.
And now we get our introduction, our brief tutorial into cyberware. So, Viktor Vector here is offering us a line of credit for some cyberware which will help us survive the up-and-coming gig, which we have yet to hear about. Of course, we are being offered some facial cyberware to improve our vision and to highlight environmental cues. Now, as we mouse over these basic Kuroshi optics, we understand, again, similar to equipment, cyberware can be improved depending on its tier. As we level up, the quality of equipment we'll get from vendors, from enemies, and from Ripper Docs will improve in quality as well. The indicator where the 1 and then the diamond indicates the amount of cyberware capacity this particular cyberware will cost. As you can see, we have an upper cap of 27 currently. Our limit will increase as we unlock or acquire certain perks, as we level up, and certain opponents will drop cyberware capacity shards, which will permanently increase our cyberware capacity. Now, the basic Kuroshi optics don't do a great deal, but they do offer a 4x optical zoom, and cameras will detect us less quickly. We also boost our health a minor amount. With item components, similar to crafting weapons, we can also use components to upgrade our cyberware as well, which is also always an option rather than having to purchase the higher tier cyberware. Vik is also offering us a ballistic co-processor, which will increase the ricochet chance of powered weapons, and it actually links our optical implant to our weapon system, offering real-time weapon information, and it marginally increases our reload speed. Now, with version 2.0, Vik really likes us and wants us to come back and pay him the money we owe him, and he is now offering us some subdermal armor, which is armor, very simple. Armor now used to be connected to the clothing you wear. It's now connected to a couple of categories of cyberware. Again, armor, like your mitigation chance and mitigation strength, allows you to have increased damage resistance. And now we have every category of cyberware available to us. If we have the eddies, there are various cyberware, even at tier 1, we could purchase. I am tempted to grab the Metatronic core here. It gives us 1 extra RAM, which isn't amazing, but the 15% extra damage against drones, robots, mechs, and turrets could be useful later on. I think we can avoid that for the moment. I don't think there's anything else we need to purchase right now. There will be some other items we want to grab later. And one thing I will note here is I do have a mod allowing us to unlock a second operating system slot. Normally, you have to choose between a brand of Cyberdeck, a brand of Berserk module, or a brand of Sandivistan. And you kind of are limited on one of those, and that's it. But if we unlock the license to Chrome up to level 3, we will be able to unlock a second operating system slot. That is because I would like the possibility to look through surveillance cameras, while likely also making use of a Sandivistan in the future. But that's everything for the moment.
Mark 1, like I said. Decent enough scanner. Displays data on your cornea. Cherry on the top's a built-in external lens disruptor. In layman's terms, any surveillance cam will capture your face as a blur. And just remember, your body will still show up as crystal clear. This should do the trick. Talks to Kuroshi Tech, too.
I'm ready. Carve away.
Excellent. Let's do this. Lay that major league arm of yours right here.
So, what's new in the life of Viktor Vektor?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, not much. And that's fine with me. I used to live in a world where all that mattered was who's who, what's what, and how's why.
And what happened?
One day I just dropped it and never looked back. I'll never be a legend in this town, but been sleeping nights ever since. Just like that. Thanks. Now, a bit of anesthetic and I can start cutting. Feel anything?
Play by play, though? Really, Doc? Makes it sound like a dentist. Always going on and on.
Don't be mean now. Remember, I'm old. I got a shaky Gannic hand. Could slip. Lights out for a minute, all right? Okay, let's test this. See the magic in action. Linking you in. You might feel a little discomfort at first. Blurred vision, low contrast, glitches. Well, how's it look? Feel all right to you?
Oh, this is fantastic, Vic.
Oh, beautiful. Time for the scanner. It might take you a few seconds to adjust, but first time's rarely the charm, with anything, really. Scanner should eventually sync with your thought processes and read your intentions. I also injected an NCPD file search. Run into any ne'er-do-wells? You know exactly what they ne'er did well. It ought to work like a charm. Now draw your weapon. You should see your ammo count in a brand new sight.
How about the neurovirus from the last job? Can you check it?
Done and gone while we were putting in your implant. And a full sweep on your soft and circuits. Zap the critter. You're certified bug-free.
Shit, Victor, not bad. I don't know what to say.
Say you'll take this and remember the dosage. 2 whiffs now, and another 2 in an hour.
What am I looking at?
A mild stim. Should boost neurotransmission in the short term and muffle some of the side effects while the implant takes.
Thanks again, Vic. You're the best. I owe you.
Go on, kid. Show 'em what you're made of. And once you hit the big leagues, don't forget where you came from.
Who's winning?
Hernandez. You know, in the old days, that cripple Malone would have been flat on the boards. Now, every last fighter's got extra skull lining. Absorbs 75% of every blow.
Got cash riding on this?
Nah, just looking. It's out of habit more than anything else.
Miss it, don't you?
Okay. And after coming out of our operation, yeah, we did actually get a message from Jackie Wells asking what's taking so long. Dex is still waiting on us. And indeed he is. What we'll do is we'll take a break here. As I say, we did have a few long explanations there. I do apologise, but it's best to get it all out the way nice and early with some explanations and how it ties into the world of Night City or the world of Cyberpunk. When we come back, we'll meet back up with our good friend Jackie Wells and see where Dex is waiting to learn more about this up and coming gig. Thank you all for joining me once again with even more Cyberpunk 2077. As always, feel free to leave a comment if you so wish, and hopefully I'll see you for even more going into the future. Until then though, take care. Bye bye now.